it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to Friday and live album ranking, and this week it is actually part of the Elvis story, the final part of the Elvis story, and we're going to look at Elvis Presley's live albums. There are 7 musical ones and 1 that's not musical, so we'll have a look at them today. So coming in at number 8 from 1974 is Having Fun with Elvis on Stage. Now this is just in between the songs, dialogue and banter. Now this was created as a ploy by Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, to release an album of Presley through his own label, Boxcar Records, probably to pay for his debts. He used it without consent, without contractually asking RCA, who owned it. So all I'll tell you, it is absolutely terrible. It's badly edited. I mean, you need the songs in there as well, to be quite honest. So we'll just give that a big fat 0 because it's not very good, and it was made for all the wrong reasons. I mean, the good news is RCA later claimed the rights to the recording, so they got some money out of it. Okay, so let's get to the real music. Okay, coming in number 7, an album released in October 77, and it was recorded in June. It's called Elvis in Concert, in conjunction some of his last performances. On here, on the stage was Elvis Presley, of course. He plays guitar on a couple of tracks. Got James Burton on lead guitar, John Wilkinson on the rhythm, Charlie Hodge acoustic guitars. We've got Jerry Sheff on bass, Ronnie Tutt on drums, Tony Brown on piano, Bobby Oldin on piano, and the Sweet Inspirations, the Stamps Quartet. Orchestra conducted by Joe Garrico. So all Elvis shows used to open up with Sparks known as many as 2001: A Space Oddity. And then it goes into a song that he did a lot of other people's songs, and the first one on this one is called C.C. Rider, which was a single released by May Rainey back in 1924. It's a long time ago. It's a good version of it. Then he does Arthur Crudup's That's All Right, big hit for Elvis. It was recorded in 46. Elvis had a sort of a hit with it in 54. Then you get Are You Lonesome Tonight, which is actually written by Charles Hart in 1927, and Elvis had hit with it in 1960. Then you get Teddy Bear and Don't Be Cruel, which was Teddy Bear's off the Loving You soundtrack, and Don't Be Cruel, it was a single from 1956. You get a few comments from the fans, and then he does a rendition of Frankie Lane's You Give Me a Mountain. Then from the single from 1957, Jailhouse Rock, we get a few more fans' comments. Then we have How Great Thou Art, one of his gospel songs that he did on his album. This song goes back to 1885 though. More comments from the fans. Then he does a Tommy Edwards song, I Don't Really Want to Know. Elvis introduced his father, and then he does Hurt, which is a track off his from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. He does and it was a single by Ray Hamilton in 1954. Hound Dog's on here as well, which was done by Big Mama Thornton. And then he does My Way, Frank Sinatra, of course. Can't Help Falling in Love from Blue Hawaii is on here. We got I Got a Woman, which was a single by Ray Charles. And then Amen, which was a single by The Impressions. You've got Love Me from the Elvis album. And then he does an Olivia Newton-John song, If You Love Me, Let Me Know, from 1974. Then he does "Oh Soul My Out," it's now or never. Yes, we all know that one. "Trying to Get You," which was a song by the Washington DC vocal group the Eagles from 1954, and it's off the Elvis Presley album. "Hawaiian Wedding Song," sung by Andy Williams. "Fairy Tale," which was a Pointer Sister song. "Little Sister," a single from 1961. Then he does a really good version of "Early Morning Rain," Gordon Lightfoot, of course. What I'd Say, Ray Charles. "Johnny Be Good," Chuck Berry from 1958, and then he ends with a Don McLean song, "And I Love You So." It's a very good set, but there's lots of screaming. Yes, I'm not a fan of the screaming because it sort of puts you off a little bit, but I'm still going to give it an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 6, we've got the Elvis, the NBC Special, the soundtrack, the comeback. It was recorded in Burbank in 1968. So it's Elvis Presley. We've got the Blossoms, which were Darlene Love, Fontana, James and Gene King. Tommy Morgan on the harmonica, Mike Deasy electric guitar, Al Casey electric, Tommy Tedesco electric, Larry Ketchell on keyboards and bass. Famous for playing in Red, of course. You've got Don Randy on piano, Charles Burkhofer on double bass, the wonderful Hal Blaine on the drums, John Sear and Frankie Frank's percussion, Frank DeVito on bongos, and Billy Goldberg. So the first track off here is a great version of a track from my favourite soundtrack, "Trouble" from King Creole. Brilliant stuff. "Guitar Man," which is a Jerry Reed number, but it was also on the soundtrack to Clam Bake. Good song. Then we have Lordy, Miss Claudie, Lloyd Price song from 1952, and he does a great version of that. Then we have "Baby What Do You Want to Do," another Jimmy Reed song from his Found Love album. "Heartbreak Hotel's" on here, single from 1956. A bit of Hound Dog, Big Mama Thornton again. Single "All Shook Up's" on here. "Can't Help Falling in Love" from Blue Hawaii. "Jailhouse Rock" from the EP. "Love Me Tender" from the Love Me Tender EP. "Where Could I Go But to the Lord" from the 8. How Great Thou Art. That's alright. "Up Above My Head," which was a song by Rosetta Tharpe and Marie Knight from 1948. There's a really good version of it. "Saved," which is Elvis sings Lieber and Stoller. "Blue Christmas." Brilliant version of "One Night," for the single from 1958. And "Memories," especially performed for the comeback special. "Nothingville" from Comeback. "Big Boss Mass," Found Love from Jimmy Reed. "Little Egypt" from Ralph Spout. So you got some good tracks on here. So it's a really good thing. I've seen it many times, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 5, we've got A Holler from Hawaii via satellite. Released in 1973, and it consists of recordings of Presley's January concerts in 1973, January the 14th and February the 1st. Opens up with 2001, of course, and then he does "CC Rider," a single one, "Ma Rainey." Then he does a Dennis Lynn track, "Burning Love" from 1972, which is pretty cool. Something from the Beatles. It's alright, it's not the best. Then he does a song that Marty Robbins wrote, "You Gave Me a Mountain," but it was made more famous, of course, by Frankie Lane. Does a "Steamroller the Blues," a James Taylor number, a very good version of it. A bit of "My Way," bit of "Love Me Tender" from Elvis. Johnny B. Good's on here, Chuck Berry, of course. "It's Over," the Jimmy Rogers number. "Blue Suede Shoes," Carl Perkins. I'm So Lonesome. I'll Cry from Hank Williams. I Can't Stop Loving You, which is not very good, from Don Gibson. Hound Dogs on here. Then we got an old song called Now What My Love. It's a French song from 1928, but the traditional dance sound of it comes from 18th century Spain. Then he does a brilliant version of Fever. Absolutely brilliant. Little Willie John did that. I think Etta James has done it, quite a few people. Welcome to My World, which was a Jim Reeves single. Suspicious Mind, brilliant on here. I'll Remember You, Keeley, a song by Don Ho. Then he does this little rock and roll medley of Long Tall Sally, shaking going on. Pretty cool. Then he does an American trilogy from Mickey Newbury. Great version of that. A Big Hunk of Love, which was a single from 1959, and it ends up with Can't Falling in Love from Blue Hawaii. It amazes me how Elvis could perform at this high level. I mean, at the time he was doing 2 or 3 shows a day, so credit to Elvis. I think it sort of was his downfall as well. But this is very good, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, coming in at number 4. Released in June 17 and recorded in February. And there's some stuff done at the Las Vegas Hotel in '69. It's called On Stage. Elvis Presley, James Burton on guitars, along with John Wilkinson. Charlie Hodge backing vocals and acoustic rhythm. Then Dee Hardin, the keyboards. Larry Mulbrack on keyboards. Jerry Sheff on bass. Bob Lanning on the drums. So Ron Tuttis as well. Imperials do the backing vocals. So again, he opens up with CC Rider, which is a great version. Then he does Release Me. Yes, it's the song that Ray Price did, but it was Engelbert Humperdinck that had a big hit with it. He does a version of Sweet Caroline from Neil Diamond. Yeah. Runaway, the Del Shannon numbers on here. That's pretty cool. The Wonder of You, great song. Vince Edwards had a hit with that originally in 1958, which is a very good song. Then we have one of my favourite songs that he did on stage, and that's Poke Salad Annie. It was a 1968 song from Tony Joe White, but Elvis's version is brilliant. Love watching this on YouTube. Yesterday from the Beatles isn't too bad. Proud Mary, not the best version. Walk a Mile in My Shoes, the Joe South number, pretty cool. And Let It Be Me, which everyone sort of recorded, Everly Brothers, Ian Gillan. Another good album. There's some really good covers on this, so I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 3. Released in 1969, and it's more songs from the International Vegas Hotel and the Winchester in Nevada. So it's from Memphis to Vegas, from Vegas to Memphis. It's also got some studio stuff. So we've got on here lots of people, it's too many to mention, but you've got people like Jerry Sheff on bass, Ron Tutt on drums. So opens up with Blue Suede Shoes. Carl Perkins did it, but Elvis did a better version of it. Johnny Be Good, the Chuck Berry number. All Shook Up, great song from 1957, a great Elvis song. Are You Lonesome Tonight, really good. Hound Dog, it's on here. I Can't Stop Loving You. My Babe, a Willie Dixon number made famous by Little Walter from 1955. Then we have Mystery Man Train and Tiger Man, Little Junior Blues Flames. Words, written by the Bee Gees, and a single by the Bee Gees. In the Ghetto. Yeah, I've never been a fan of that. The brilliant Suspicious Minds on here. Can't Help Falling in Your Love from Blue Hawaii. Very sort of a shorter album, but there's some cracking songs on it, and they're all done of a good standard, and I like that. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7.6. Coming in at number 2. Released in June 1972, and it's Elvis, as recorded at Madison Square Garden. The concerts were recorded on the 9th of September 1972. And it was apparently Elvis's first concerts in New York since the 1950s. Elvis on the vocals, James Burton and John Wilkinson the guitars, Ronnie Tutt on drums, Jerry Sheff on bass, Glennie Hardin on piano, the Sweet Inspirations doing the backing vocals, along with quite a few people, and got Joe Garrico conducting the Joe Main Orchestra. Opens up with 2001. Then he does That's Alright. Good start. Proud Mary from Creedence Clearwater Revival. Then he does Never Been to Spain, which is a single by that Three Dog Night did. It was written by Hoyt Axton. Good version of that. Then he does You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, the Dusty Springfield single. Not as good as Dusty's, I'm afraid. You've Lost That Loving Feeling, a very good version of that song. A bit of Polka at Salad Annie, brilliantly performed as ever. Love Me, the song from Elvis, pretty cool. All Shook Up's on here. Bit of Heartbreak Hotel. Then he does a medley of Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear and Don't Be Cruel. Love You Me Tender's on here. The Impossible Dream, song by Jack Jones, and I do believe Perry Como recorded it as well. Hound Dog, pretty cool on here. Suspicious Minds, a Bill Nash single for the Good Times, does a great version. A really good, one of the better live versions of American Trilogy, the Mickey Newby song. Bit of Willie Nelson for Funny How Time Slip Away. I Can't Stop Loving You, I can't stand that song. It don't matter who sings it. Can't Help Falling in Love's on here. An excellent album. All the hits, different interpretations of them, but all there. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. So my number one, and it's always been my favourite Elvis live album. It's Elvis Recorded Live on Stage, recorded in 1974 at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, which is of course Presley's hometown. So it's Elvis, James Burton's on here, Charlie Hodge, John Wilkinson, Glendy Hardin, J.D. Summer and the Stamps backing vocals. We've got Katie Westmoreland on backing vocals, the Sweet Inspirations, Duke Bartwell on bass, and Ronnie Tutt on the drums. Opens up, of course, with CC Rider. He does a great version of that. It's probably the best version of it. Then we have a little medley of Ray Charles' I've Got a Woman, and Amen. Pretty good. Love Me, a Lieber and Stoller song from the Elvis song. Then we have some tracks off the Elvis Presley album, Trying to Get You. Brilliant stuff. Another medley, Little Richard number, Long Tall Sally, and a whole lot of shaking going on from Jerry Lee. Mama Don't Dance, Loggins and Melissa. Eventually was done by Poison as well. We've got Flip Flop Fly, the Big Joe Turner, which is interesting. Jailhouse Rock's on here. A little bit of Hound Dog. Pretty cool little medley that is. Then we do a Chris Christopherson song from 1973, Why Me Lord. How Great Thou Art. Yeah, it's not too bad. Then another little medley of Fats Domino, Blueberry Hill, and that goes into I Can't Stop Loving You. Okay. Little bit of Promised, Help Me from Promised Land. The American Trilogy's on here as well. Let Me Be There, the Olivia Newton-John song. My Baby Left Me, another Arthur Kudrup song, recorded in 1950. Lordy Miss Claudie, the Lloyd Price singles on here. Can't Help Falling in Love, great version. I love this. It's got some of the best live versions of these songs. It's an excellent recording. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. So there we go, folks. That is the Elvis story done. From way back to his famous shows. Okay, we start, as you know, next week we start a new story, and this one is a request as well, and it's the King of Swing himself, the top man, Mr. Frank Sinatra. Okay, coming up next, we've got new album reviews, and the first one will be the new album from Ghost called Skeletor. So join me for that. Bye for now.